What's going on, chillaxers? It's ETG, Elion the Gamer, and we're going to talk Destiny Taken King, a saturated subject of hate and love, invitation and neglect, and all that other shitty jizz that we all know and love when it comes to Bungie. First and foremost, we all ripped a new one with the expansions to cut content that went along with this game. Get that out of the way now because it's pretty key and why a lot of people are iffy on whether or not the Taken King will have the substance to back up being a worthy DLC of their money. And that's what this is all about, people, getting games worth your money. As of late, you cannot deny that games have been very lackluster for the most part, not at all standing up to their $60 plus price tags, and as gamers become less critical and more defensive of developers making these kind of games, ignoring taking unlubed pipe, we realize that it's only going to get worse before it ever gets better. So, looking at Taken King, as several people have broken it down, we pretty much know everything that's going to be in it. So let's talk about, is it worth it? Because if there's one thing that Bungie has been able to do, it's market the shit out of this game. And because those that have played Destiny know that their gameplay mechanics are fun as hell, they can ride that train right into the station, knowing that you're hoping the next DLC will make the content fun enough to go with the gameplay, so you have legit reason to go back to playing Destiny without the gaming world blowing that ass up for supporting a game that's been impregnating women and men alike since it launched. Alright. Taken King is looking at technically being more than an expansion, so we'll call it, I don't know, Destiny 1.5. Usually with these expansions you get the norm, right? 5 to 6 weak ass story missions, a raid, or in last DLC's case, Prison of Elders and PvP Elite come, right? And this has been their formula. So what is in the Taken King exactly? Well, if you don't know already, here's a rundown of what we pretty much know so far. With the Taken King comes a complete change and overhaul to the original Destiny, that being the entire story quests and how they flow. The light system in general is to be scrapped for a true EXP system, or is it? I'll get back to that later. Cinematics are supposed to now appear to help buffer this new story-driven direction, and they're even saying they're supposed to have class-driven quests as well. Your Ghost returns with a new voice actor, Nolan North, who has done tons of new dialogue, as well as going back to the very moment you wake up to revoice the Ghost, pretty much relieving Dinklage of duty. And in an effort to increase the Ghost use in all things, the Ghost can now scan the environment and objects and people and stuff as if the Grimoire is now in the game, allowing for you to get into the lore without having to leave playing. Now, it's not known if this will be stored in some menu for you to go back and listen to later or not, but scanning for lore audio is there. And you know what I mean, like you totally go and scan something and it's trying to read you all this lore, and then you press B because you're like, I don't want to hear that shit right now. I'll go ahead and listen to it later in the menu when I don't have nothing to do, right? They've got new classes for everyone, of course, and there are now new melee weapons in the heavy weapon slot and so on, you know, more details about that. But there are side details in this too, and what am I talking about? They're boasting a new behind-the-scenes reward system that is supposed to pay attention to the gear and weapons you already have and attempts to avoid giving you the same reward multiple times, but looks for new loot you don't have that will be meaningful to you. There's still no trading, which this seems to be avoiding entirely because you probably wouldn't care getting something you already have and giving it to your homie, but whatever, because 90% of the time at this point in time, most people have what you want and you kind of have what they want, or we all have everything, so whatever. They've addressed the Cryptarch again, stating that he now reliably provides rewards that match the engrams you give him, which I don't get what the fuck that means really. Is that to say we were getting purples that were in essence blues? Wow, right? Moving on, you can now carry more bounties at a time, and you don't even have to return to the bounty giver to turn them in anymore once you complete them. So you can be in orbit and you finish it and you can turn that shit in right there. As far as the Crucible goes, for you lads out there that love the Crucible, it has improved matchmaking and a new mercy rule for people that are fighting a losing battle. So pretty much, like, for example, I fought a whole team of Trial Osiris guys. They all had the same emblem and everything. I was like, holy shit, it's an army, and we were getting wrecked. And I'm supposing that this new mercy system would have just put the gun in our mouth and shot us and ended it sooner, I guess. Heavy and special ammo drops have been reworked to be more understandable and usable. I guess some people had issues knowing that you wait for a box, get to a box, open a box, who knows. Weapons are again rumored to have been balanced across the board. Take that with a grain of salt because it's been said before. Now, talking about the reworking of the light system, funny enough, you hear things that make it sound like it isn't entirely gone. So it's probably still there in some new shape or form, but here's the kicker. You could possibly now find a white or green item that is better than what you're wearing now, and assuming that most are wearing legendary and exotic, what the fuck does this mean towards wearing an exotic? And how does that work anymore? And how are guns gonna progress? I guess they're gonna stay the same. I don't really see how they have to change. Never mind about that. But what we do know is that you can sacrifice gear in that same slot to power up the gear you're currently wearing instead of just busting it down for glimmer or shards. So that's pretty cool. Subtle stuff that's been added primarily to your menu are things like your key stats now show directly what they're affecting. For example, showing you just how much time your grenade recharges or how fast you get your super back instead of just telling you, yay, you got intelligence to 100%. What does it do? How does it affect? You'll never know. Fuck it, right? Now you know exactly how much that intelligence is allowing your grenade to cool down or whatever whatsoever. The ability to wear your helmet or not now also extends to your character screen, so pretty much when you pause it, if you have decided to not wear your helmet there, you won't be wearing your helmet when you pause. Emotes. I'm sorry, emotes. Emotes for the collection edition buyers and upgraders, if you want to pay 20 bucks, are now available below your emblem selection. Holding down L2 and presumably LT on Xbox gives instant glimpse at energy types on your weapon, so like, you know, the void and all that stuff. And there are new item and subclass visual icons to let others know exactly what subclass you're using. That's actually pretty cool. All the vendors in the tower now have quests for you to progress in, right? The gunsmith now even has gun-tied bounties in which you borrow guns from him and complete tasks with them to level up rep with him. And when enough rep is built, you unlock Arms Day, where you select a legendary gun and he delivers it to you. Vanguard and Crucible marks have been replaced with legendary marks, and class-specific armor upgrades have been replaced to a universal item as well. You aren't forced to wear class items of the faction to get rep anymore. You simply pledge allegiance to their flag. Hee hee, a joke. I made one, mom. I did it. I did it. I'm so happy.
Really, nigga?
Anyway, you can also turn in motes of light and armor and such to your selected allegiance to gain rep also. So now you don't even have to do bounties anymore, which I think is pretty cool if you're trying to, you know, work towards getting those shaders and stuff like that. So in regards to that, talking about those shaders, here's a cool bit of info. There's now a console that shows all the shaders you have and even ones you don't have, and better yet, how to get those ones you don't have. I think it's safe to say that the shaders no longer rack up space in your inventory, so this is nice. And now you can go hunting for specific shaders you've always been looking for. And this same system goes for emblems as well. Now, obviously, they still need to address how we're going to store our guns and stuff, because a lot of people's inventories are still pretty full with that stuff. But they're looking into that, I guess. For the new classes, of course, like we were talking about earlier. Oh man, excuse me, got the hiccups, dude. What's going on? For the new classes, you go down a sub-quest like any game to unlock and learn how to use them. Be nice if this is put in for the other classes as well, even though most of us have already played them and know how to use them. But if they're really catering to new people, I guess they could still put this stuff in here. And it'd be nice for us to go back and check it out, right? The origins of Blade Dancers and all that good stuff. I wouldn't mind playing that. Back to the Crucible again. Crucible has 3 new modes: Rift, Mayhem, Zone Control. Rift, you have to carry a ball of light across the map to the enemy's rift. Mayhem increases the recharge rate of grenades, charge melees, and supers. For what Bungie is calling some crazy mayhem, it's probably going to annoy the shit out of a lot of people. Or, yeah, maybe it'll be fun. Zone Control is a new form of control where only taking the zones gives you points, not kills. There are 8 new maps to fight on, and there are even new quests tied to getting you in the Crucible, but they're still just bounties, so take that how you feel about it. There are now 4 new strikes plus 3 remixed older strikes. Don't know if this removes the older versions or not. Going to guess not. Of course, one of these 4 new strikes is PlayStation exclusive, but fret not, Xbox players, for you now get the strike that they've had exclusive rights to all year if you give a fuck. So, after breaking all that down, all in all, is the Taken King worth it? Does it make Destiny the game it should have been? at its original launch? I would say yes it does, and yes, it probably is worth it. Now, for how long this content will hold you and how they can expand on what we've read is to be seen. But I don't think the Taken King will leave the sour taste in our mouths like we got from the Dark Below and House of Wolves, and even the original Destiny launch. I would still encourage people to not upgrade to the collector's edition for the $20 purely for the emotes and such, because that's a fucking ripoff, and no matter how much you want them, let Bungie reduce those down to a reasonable price. Otherwise, you're still buying the damn collector's edition anyway, and if you're going to spend those $20, just buy the fucking collector's edition. But at the end of the day, guys, is the Taken King worth it? Is it a good update? It sounds like it, and we know Bungie can market, so they're gonna market it well. So I would still go ahead and say that you go ahead and wait this one out. At this day and age, guys, nothing is really exclusive anymore. Just go ahead and take that into mind. If you're a YouTuber and you want to get this information out and, you know, let everybody know, and you be the source that lets people know, is the Taken King worth it really, then you go ahead and get it, you know, and I don't know, be that sacrifice for other people, I guess. But for the most part, guys, go ahead and be patient. You can always upgrade to collector's editions or limited editions now, no matter how long you wait. And in the long run, it ends up being free. We all know that they got free games of the month or reduced prices. We all saw how ridiculously low Destiny stuff went even before they came out with the Taken King bundle. So just take that kind of stuff into mind, guys. Go ahead and wait it out, fill out the product, and as smart consumers and gamers, do other people a favor and think about what you're buying. Is it worth it? Is it worth funding this and a practice that could be illicit and wrong towards gaming as a community? Just think about that kind of stuff. Go ahead and know what you think about the Taken King and all the changes that it brings to Destiny in a whole. Don't forget to drop a like and a subscribe. Go ahead and enjoy some of these funnier Destiny clips, and as usual, I will chill with you guys later.